Welcome back. So, today I have a bit of a script here for you which will demonstrate continue and break statements. Now, I want to introduce them as commands that will control the loops. These commands, as I stated, they will be break and continue. There are other ways of doing similar things, but for the time being, we shall use break and continue. The break command breaks out of the loop, and continue command, when encountered, will basically just skip the rest of the code and will go straight to the next iteration. So let's take a look at this two-part script. We have defined some sort of an upper limit, and then we are echoing out. It says, I don't know, numbers 1 to 10, but not 3 and 11. We're initializing n to 0 and creating a while loop down below. So this entire thing is the while loop from do to done. You have a value of a variable n is being compared to the upper limit. It says lesser or equal than. Then if we go into the underneath the do when the while loop begins, what are we doing here? Anybody? Just think about it. Basically just iterating the value of n by 1 with this, and then storing that value into n. And then when the loop is done, we are again comparing it to the upper limit and so on and so forth until eventually the value of n becomes greater than the upper limit, as upper limit does not change, but n does increase. Then down below we have an if statement with or, basically nested if statement, might I add, where we're checking if it's equal to 3 or the value of n is equal to 11, because we have stated but not 3 and 11 up here. And here we go. This is our first encounter with continue. Think about it, what will happen here. So if this happens, immediately we will skip the current iteration and go to the next one at this point of time. So from here we will skip it and we'll go back immediately into the while loop, at the beginning of the while loop, and then begin the next iteration. Else we shall simply print out the value of n. Sorry, moved it. Just bear with me here. This will, if we type in 3 or 11, the last echo statement will not be executed, as the continue statement here, the continue command here, sorry, will tell the machine go back to the beginning of the loop and begin the next iteration. Do not go any further. There is no point. And then just echo to have another empty line down below. Below this code, I am basically recycling, or the portion of the code is being recycled in order to utilize it, in order to demonstrate what the break statement does. So n is reinitialized to 0, and a condition for the loop is made that n again is lesser or equal to the upper limit. Again, we iterate the n, nothing special there, but the if statement is different. It basically states that if n is greater than 2, then break. What will happen here is that if n becomes greater than 2, the program will actually exit this while loop completely. So it will terminate the program, regardless of whether or not this is lesser than the upper limit. It won't terminate the program, it will terminate the loop, but since this is the last loop that we will encounter in this script, it will actually terminate the script as well. Let's go ahead and run it. Okay, it says numbers 1, yep, there we go. So it says numbers 1 to 10, but not 3 and 11, as the statement in the echo goes, right? So I'm pretty sure that you can all follow that one through now without any problems. And then it goes 1, 2, no, 3, okay, 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, no 11 either. So what has happened here is that pretty much what I've just said. You see the echo statement, which is below the if condition, in which we have a continue command, has not been valid for the iterations 3 and 11. So when n had the value of 3 and 11, there was no echo statement to actually print them out onto the screen, as we use the continue statement to actually just skip that part, to skip the rest of the code which was down below the continue, and in such a way just skip over those iterations and go on to the next ones. And the second portion, just scroll down, you can see that we have 1 and 2 here. Basically, it states that if it becomes greater than 2, break. So even though we have a good amount of iterations remaining here, because remember, upper limit is 9, the value of upper limit is 9, and it says that as long as the value of n is lesser or equal than 9, and n begins with 0 here, this loop will continue. However, it breaks at 2. Why? Because we have a break statement within the nested if condition that states, should the value of n become greater than 2, break out of the loop and terminate. Because this is the last loop in the program, the program will pretty much end with this loop, and actually it will end with the last echo, but you get the idea. So this is how you would use a break statement to break out of the loop, and this is how you would use a continue statement in order to skip a few things. Now the follow-up tutorial will actually give you some knowledge that will help you enact greater degrees of control with continue and break. Until then, farewell.